The Animation Chronicle 2022. I waited until we got the last card from this because there's actually a lot to talk about. I'm going in order here, so we are starting on May 25th with Clockwork Knight. It's a continuous spell card, can only be activated once. Third effect can only be activated once per turn. All face-up monsters on the field become machines. All machine monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense. Also machines your opponent controls lose 500 attack and defense. So this auto inputs basically 500 for your machines and 500 less for your opponent's monsters. Or basically, 500 for your monsters, 500 for your minus 500 for your opponent's monsters. Since all monsters on the field become machines, kind of nice for Cyber Dragons, considering that Mega Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon still a thing. But the main thing this, I guess, will be getting used for is you can banish this card from the graveyard, discard a card, and then add one Earth Machine monster from your deck to your hand. And yes, this can search cell phone, smartphone, telephone, and also a whole bunch of other Morphtronics like Boomboxen, Remoten. There's a lot of Morphtronics you can technically add off this. Personally, I'd say if you're not playing something like very heavily focused on getting to telephone or like possibly the FTK build, finding space for this alongside Foolish Burial Goods, because you will probably run this alongside Foolish Burial Goods, otherwise you just don't have a good way to get this in the graveyard. You will rarely find space for this, in all honesty. It's cool, it's neat. If you find space for this, more power to you. But I think we've gotten more consistency tools down the line that are better than this standalone, and also are easier to set up. So let's get into those. And on the note of those consistency tools, June 1st continues the trend. Dimension the dice. We're getting some Duke Devlin cards here. The first one is a field spell, Dice Dungeon. When this resolves, you can add a dimension dice from deck to hand. This is the following spell card. Then it has a effect at the start of the battle phase where each player rolls a 6-sided die, and then, you apply effects to each monster on the field depending on what the controller rolled. For a 1, they lose 1,000. For a 2, they gain 1,000 attack. For a 3, they lose 500. For a 4, they gain 500. For a 5, the attack becomes halved, and for a 6, the attack becomes doubled. These are probably like the more like meme-ish effects, I'd say. But the main reason why you would consider this, especially for Morphtronics, is this card, Dimension Dice. It's the second one here. If you control a card that has a dice rolling effect, you can tribute a monster and then special summon a monster that has a dice rolling monster effect from your hand or deck. As after resolving Dice Dungeon, which is a field spell, which those are readily accessible, you have Terraforming, Set Rotation, there's loads and loads and loads of ways to grab this. So you already have the card with the die rolling effect on the field, so you just need a monster. So for example, if your initial normal summon got Veiled, you would be able to Dimension Dice, tribute your normal summon away, summon basically any of the fonts, like cell phone, telephone from the deck, except smartphone, of course, because smartphone has a special summoning restriction. But you would be able to definitely extend and play through that hand trap in that way. This is just a very neat consistency package you can add to your Morphtronics. I think I'm personally having a bit of trouble finding space for this, but in all honesty, if you find the space for this, Dice Dungeon and Dimension Dice, 3 copies of Dice Dungeon and 2 Dimension Dice, or 3 Dimension Dice, depending on how you like it, can definitely be a sick consistency package, or just 3 Dimension Dice on their own can be rather neat, I think, in all honesty, because a negated cell phone is still a card with a dice rolling effect on the field, so you still meet that condition. And now we're finally getting into some stuff that actually has Morphtronics on the cover, or at least in the name. Because we're getting some anime and manga ports for Leo's cards. The first one is Gadget Box. This is a real throwback, because this is something Leo played in his first ever anime duel against Yusei. This is a continuous spell card. It's always treated as a Morphtronic card. So for example, if you would reveal this off of a smartphone, you could add this off the smartphone. Can only be activated once, and when this is activated, you place 3 morph counters on it, which also, funnily enough, puts the amount of cards that use morph counters to 3. And then you can once per turn remove a morph counter from your field, and if you do, you special summon a gadget box token, a Machine Earth level 1, attack 0, defense 0. And you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck while this token is on the field, except Synchros. Very nice restriction. This is cool for some like non-tuner generation if your deck needs it. I think this could definitely be something to consider to really cut out main deck non-tuners outside of course, Cellphone, from Morphtronics. Like, I'm still on 2 Boomboxen because I really like Boomboxen and think that's a cool card. But I think this could be a very good replacement for that. And in general, it's just cool to see these, anime cards get ported. We have another one later down the line, which I'm really excited for, because that's a cool one. And then the other one, also a continuous spell card, a Toolbox. If you control a monster, you can reveal 2 equip spells with different names from your deck, and then your opponent will randomly add 1 to your hand. So this is basically a mini power tool dragon, because remember in the manga, Leo only played Power Tool Mecha Dragon, so this was his way to get 2 equip spells there, because Power Tool Mecha Dragon doesn't search those on his own. But even outside of that, I think for Morphtronics, in actuality, this probably isn't like too amazing. I think a deck like Infernoble would probably do more with this, but if you find the space for this, for like the manga flair, I think it's definitely a fair inclusion in all honesty, because you do have some good targets, stuff like Life Extreme and Repair Unit if you're thinking archetypal stuff, or even, any of your Braver Garnets or a DDR could also be a very good option to search of this. And we move into the last batch, and for this one, we have to scroll all the way to the bottom for Morphtronic Impact Return. I absolutely love that name, by the way. It is a normal trap. You can only use both effects once per turn and only once that turn. The first effect is that you target up to 2 spell or trap cards your opponent controls. You then shuffle a Morphtronic monster from your hand into the deck. And if you do, you shuffle the previously targeted cards into the deck. A kind of archetypal heavy Stormduster is kind of sick, in all honesty. The anime version of this only returned the opponent's spell cards to the hand, but shuffling those into the deck is, I think, absolutely massive. And this might actually be like a really cool side deck option, in all honesty, against back row decks. This is, yes, of course, a trap, and for that, very going first reliant. I just think this is really sick, and they even added a second effect onto this, because you can banish this from the graveyard, and then you target a Morphtronic monster that is in your graveyard or in your banished cards, and you special summon it in defense. The special summoning in defense is a bit rough, as there's a lot of Morphtronics you'd usually want in attack, but even with the newer support, we have seen some that you can even reasonably summon in defense, something like a Telephone, for example, or even if you're playing him, Morphtronic Scannon. Also has a decent defense position effect that can net you some nice advantage on a follow-up play. But since this is a trap, you could also potentially use this on your opponent's turn. But yeah, this is it, I guess, for, in terms of like what we can expect for the near future for Morphtronics. Just wanted to make a quick video talking about this. Kind of, everything in one go, and not like one for like 1 card, and then I do 1 for 1 card and 1 for 2 cards, and then another 1 for 1 card, essentially. I don't know, what are your thoughts on this? Just like the last times we talked about upcoming support, or like potential support. Let me know down below what you think of these, what you think will be like seeing a lot of play. Maybe tell me what your favorite card of these is, because for me it's definitely Impact Return, in all honesty. This just takes the cake, in all honesty. But yeah, with all that out of the way, I think I'll thank you guys very much for watching, and see you guys again next time. But until then, goodbye.